welcome to everybody for our 36th annual RAA convention. And it's my great pleasure to once again introduce our chairman for this year, chairman of our board of directors, and the CEO of Air Wisconsin, Jim Rankin. Jim?
Thank you, Roger. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to first welcome you and thank you for joining and attending our 36th annual RAA convention. I want to congratulate all of you because you're a part of another record-breaking event with our exhibitor base, and this is also a sold-out hall. We appreciate the support of our many sponsors, and in particular, last night's opening reception, compliments of PowerJet and Superjet International. Today, our breakfast is also sponsored by PowerJet, and thank you to Pratt & Whitney Canada for the buffet lunch served here in the exhibit hall. I hope all attendees will be able to join us in the hall at about 11:30 for lunch. Also later today, please make sure you stay in the exhibit hall for happy hour, sponsored by Mitsubishi Aircraft Corporation. And on behalf of all of us, a special recognition to Mitsubishi for all they have been through with Japan's recent tsunami. And they are here in force this week supporting us, and we really do appreciate that. After happy hour, please join us for dinner and dancing at the Wild Horse Saloon, which is just walking distance from the convention center and graciously sponsored by Bombardier and Rockwell Collins. Your exhibiting and sponsoring provides the resources for so much of what our outstanding RAA staff does on our behalf in Washington, D.C. This convention represents the culmination of RAA's legislative, regulatory, and advocacy efforts, and I and my fellow RAA board members thank you. It's a real privilege to serve as your RAA chairman. We've proven as an industry that even through tough economic times, the reality is that regional airlines have earned a seat at the table and are recognized by industry stakeholders for all of our efforts in advancing safety and contributing to the overall reliability and professionalism of this nation's air transportation system. As Air Wisconsin's CEO and current RAA chairman, I have the honor of serving on the Next Gen Advisory Committee. And in fact, I'm leaving this afternoon to attend a national meeting of this group that is charged with shaping the air traffic system of tomorrow. My friend, former RAA chairman and longtime RAA board member Brian Bedford of Republic Holdings also volunteered his service for Secretary LaHood's Future of Aviation Commission. I underline these examples of RAA CEO service to the betterment of the nation's air transportation because it underscores that the regional airline industry is more than a business to us. It's a passion. Well over half of my fellow RAA board members are licensed pilots or mechanics, with some of us even currently rated on our own fleet types. But Brian and I represent only a fraction of the contribution being made by the regional airline family. There are literally dozens of our operations, safety, and maintenance professionals volunteering to serve on large number of rulemaking committees that contribute to shape the national policy of our vital air transportation industry. These regional airline professionals are meeting with government and other association stakeholders involved with labor, policy making, and academia to share best practices as defined by our own RAA-led Strategic Safety Initiative. This week, our board and various committees have been discussing these significant resources, including financial, equipment, and people, that this industry will need in the future. We are also conducting an industry-leading fatigue study and are currently moving to phase 2 by testing the models with RAA member airline pilots and training facilities. This phase 2 should hopefully be completed in our target date of next spring. Again, we appreciate your attending the 36th annual convention. I encourage you to spend time in the exhibit hall today and tomorrow and visit with the 200 companies, a new record, exhibiting here this week. Now I'd like to ask Lucas Aardenburg of PowerJet to join me on stage. He will provide an update from our Associate Members Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Good morning, everybody. I would like to briefly address three distinct groups here. First of all, obviously, the chairman, Jim Rankin, his board of directors, and all of the airline representatives here. And I would like to point out how important it is for us, the OEMs, vendors, service providers, represented in the Associate Member Council, that the airlines be represented in such important numbers here and in such important quality. It's equally important to us that all of these people walk the floor, and the fact of having integrated the general session into the exhibit floor is a very good move in the right direction. Further, it's also important to us, but I think to the whole industry, that increasingly the expertise present at the vendors and OEMs is used in the committee work of the RAA, and we're in close cooperation with the officers and the RAA executive and the AMC working on those things. All of that closes this sort of virtuous circle or loop that is making this event budget-wise possible, involving all parties in regional air transport together, uniting their forces, and therefore making this industry safer, stronger, and more prosperous. And finally, making attending this event and spending money on this event for the vendors worth its while. And that is often significant money, which contributes to a significant part of the RAA budget. And for, in particular, people like Bombardier, who have been the largest contributor for the longest time, thanks to them. The second group I would like to address is the associate members or possible future members, and point out to them how much more value every year we get from the RAA in attending here, exhibiting here, sponsoring here. We'll just give, for an example, the excellent president's walkthrough with Secretary Ray LaHood yesterday, which we have all seen. Another example, the AMC 400 breakfast with the airline CEOs on the opening day, the purchasing forum, and then to come, increased involvement in the RAA committee work. All of that, as I said, is the result of a close dialogue between the officers of the RAA, the executive, and the AMC. And therefore, it's very important that the AMC continues to be strong, healthy, and sustained. And I take the opportunity to announce that we will have 6 or 7 positions open in the fall, and I would call for candidates for those positions, because this dialogue can only continue with the RAA officers and the RAA executive if this industry is represented at the right level in a representative body. I guess that, that Roger will send out an official call for candidates to fill up the open positions. Then finally, I wanted to address the third group, which is obviously Roger Cohen and his staff, to thank them for their continued effort to make associate membership more valuable every year for us, and to encourage him to continue this work with us. One last word. One of the things we do as an associate member council is we raise funds, and we thank everybody for their contributions through the sales of the mulligans, the raffles in the golf, the donations for the silent for scholarships, and we had tried to have the award winners of the scholarships here this year, but we didn't succeed to have them. I would want to name them. They are Elliot Bauman of the University of Dakota, Robert Boyle of Michigan Institute of Aviation and Technology, and Nicolie Lanier from the University of North Dakota. They have, the 3 of them, been granted a scholarship of $2,000. I wish you all a very great convention.